Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang berbahagia Datin Sri Balika Rosmah di Mansur, Ambassador of Turkey, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, before I call upon the presenters, the speakers to speak, I would like to explain something, because I find I am being asked why we are holding this conference. Well, I would like to explain firstly that this is not about a religious war. This is not about Muslims against Jews. This is a question of justice and fair play. This is about breaking international law. It is a concern for everyone, whether we are Muslims or non-Muslims or Christians, or even if we are Hebrew people, Jewish people. We must be concerned about how countries regard international law and national laws. What we have been seeing is that one country, Israel, has been allowed to do just about anything that it likes. It can kill people, it can bomb people, it can capture and detain thousands of people, and yet the world does nothing. It is as if Israel is a privileged country in this world, that it can do anything that it likes. And this is not right. We as the people of this world must be concerned when we see laws being broken by countries and no action is taken against it. In this particular case, we see the Israelis actually attacking civilian ships which are not armed. The people on the ships are not armed. They are civilians on a mercy trip. Their intention was to take relief material for the peoples of Gaza. And yet, the Israeli mounted a military action, and not only did the Israelis board the ships in international waters, which is absolutely a criminal act, because those ships were not doing any harm to Israel. Besides, the ships were in international waters. And having boarded the ships, the MV Marmara, the Israelis actually shot and killed 9 people and wounded several others. This is an act of crime, a criminal act. But that is not all. The Israelis actually forced the ships to sail into their own port of Ashdod. This amounts to piracy. We have heard a lot about how the Somalis have been hijacking ships in international waters. And we all condemn the Somali pirates for doing something that is against the law. That is a crime. And yet when Israel does exactly the same thing, actually hijacking ships in international waters and forcing it to go to Israel, port of Ashdod, Israel is not accused of piracy. The ships are still in Israel. But nobody has taken up this question as to the rights of Israel to go into international waters and force the ships to go to Israeli ports and to detain the ships and to arrest for a time the people who were on the ship. This is a criminal act, and we as citizens of this world must be concerned about this criminal act. Why is it that Israel can commit a crime when other states, if they were to do such a thing, would be accused of committing a crime? Supposing Malaysia were to detain ships passing through the Straits of Malacca, I am quite sure the whole world would condemn Malaysia and would probably send warships to Malaysia to ensure that the ships which were detained by Malaysia would be released. But in the case of Israel, it has committed any number of crimes, including killing people, and yet no one seems willing to raise this issue in the United Nations or to accuse Israel of breaking international law, of piracy on high seas to the International Criminal Court. So Israel is actually a rogue state, not a privileged state. It is a rogue state. And yet we have powerful countries backing Israel in carrying out what is internationally regarded as a crime. There is a great deal of injustice here. Today it is happening to the Palestinians. It may happen to us. It may happen to Malaysia. It may happen to other countries. So we have to be concerned about these things. Apart from the fact that Muslims are concerned because Palestinians are largely Muslim. But that is incidental. What is important is that these people have had their land seized, stolen from them to create the state of Israel. And when they have no other means to regain their land, they resort to acts which are now described as acts of terror. They have been condemned. And the so-called civilized world, the most civilized of the civilized world, have not showed any sympathy for the Palestinians, and they have in fact ignored cases where the Palestinians have been oppressed by the Israelis. I myself and my wife and a small entourage tried to go to Palestine. We had no intention at all to go to Israel. We wanted to go to Palestine, believing that it is at least those parts of Palestine which were not occupied by the Israelis would be open to visits by other people. To our horror, the border crossing between Jordan and Israel, border crossing between Jordan and Palestine was guarded by Israelis carrying machine guns. We were detained there for 2 hours. The purpose was to delay us so that we could not visit the places we had intended to visit, namely Jenin village, which was totally destroyed by the Israelis, and also to go to Jerusalem, to Palestinian part of Jerusalem. But because of the delay, we could not go to Jenin, nor could we go to Jerusalem. Instead, we had to climb to the top of a house